Hi, thanks for tuning in with me today. I'm Candy Michael. I'm from Powell, Ohio. My website is candystampers.com. And I live in Central Ohio, not far from the Ohio State University, just north of there. Welcome. Welcome today. I am going to show you two masculine cards. They're for the guys in our lives. And I'm going to show you two, and they're easy cards for you to make yourself. So let me I've got everything ready. I'm going to switch my camera around here in a minute. But while you're watching, don't forget to like, share, and comment on anything that you like. And please tell me where you're from. Thanks. Let me go ahead and switch my camera around. I just wanted to get to meet you. Hi, Kelly and Jennifer. Thanks, guys, and Emily for tuning in. Let me go ahead and switch my camera around. So hang with me here. So I do the old switcheroo. There we go. All right. So welcome again. So today I'm going to show you some of our Stampin' Up! Products. I have two different bundles that I'll be working with. The first one is our Geared Up Garage. Now this card I did make last year. We still have the framelits, the dies here, and we have the stamp set still available. And these dies are awesome. You actually get 14 different dies in here. There's one very large one that you can make just to fill the whole center front of your card. But today we're going to go ahead and work with this card. So this one I made that is a top fold. So it's cut at 11 inches by 4 1/4. And I am using some of the DSP that was used, the designer series paper, that was used last year. And I really wanted to duplicate this card. So I thought, rather than worrying about not having that particular paper, I'm sure you all have stashes of paper somewhere, that I would go ahead and just use some of our actual cardstock. So what I did in place of this designer paper is I used some of our basic gray cardstock, and I ran it through with an embossing folder that is our Subtles embossing folder. So it's nice, it gave it a little texture, and it just goes perfectly with the same colors and the black and a little pop of red, and it looks really nice together. So let me show you what I did. Again, I cut my cardstock at 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at the halfway mark at 5 1/2 inches. So we'll go ahead and get this nicely folded and use my bone folder to give it a good crease there. And I'm going to set that aside for just a minute. I'm going to take my Whisper White piece, and this is for the front panel here, and I'm going to glue on the basic gray piece that I was just telling you about. Now, you don't need to use a lot of snail or glue because it will go ahead and stick on there very nicely with a smaller amount. You can use a lot, but you don't have to. All right, so I have my piece glued on here. I am going to then take that front panel and glue it onto the basic black piece here. And one little bit of glue in the middle there, a little bit of the tape to help anchor it down. All right, now I love this stamp set because I actually have a master certified mechanic in my household, which is my oldest son, Jonathan. So when Stampin' Up! Came out with this, I thought this is just perfect for cards for him. And of course, he loves them when I give him cards. So anyway, or even little projects that I make up for him. So go ahead. I'm going to next take the panel here, the black and white piece. And what I want to do is glue these two down. This is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then I'm going to just take the 3 by 4 and glue it onto the front. So I want to put them together because eventually I'm going to die cut that middle piece out. I'm trying not to get too much glue right here because that will come out, die cut out, and I want that black piece to come off. So the next thing I'm going to do is stamp the You Jumpstart My Heart in our Real Red ink. So this is one of our older ink pads, and we just push and flip that one around. I'll show you the next one that I use. I'll show you, it's one of our newer ones. So when you're inking your stamp, you really just want to tap. You don't want to smash your stamp, or you're going to end up with a lot of ink around. And sometimes we call it a halo, where you get it on your stamp as well. That just means you're pressing too hard in the ink. So hold your stamp, go ahead and stamp it on there, and that's what you'll get. Next, I am going to take the framelit here, and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. So I'll place that on there, and by the magic of Facebook, it's done. See how easy that was. So my piece that I cut out, I'm going to just set aside here, because now what I want to do is I want to glue all this onto here, but I want to pop it up and give it some dimension. You can see how it's kind of popped up over here. So I'm going to use our larger Stampin' dimensionals, and you're going to see me put a lot more on here than I normally would. Excuse me. I normally don't use this many, but I really don't want this piece to like cave in. No saggy cards. We don't want it to sag, so I'm going to use more than I normally would. But that's all right. And then this will help keep this all the way up. And then that way I can put in my piece that I just stamped. I can just put it on in there. Hi, Andrea and Charlotte. Thanks for stopping in, you guys. All right, so let me go ahead and just place this right about there. Looks good to me, right about the middle. And then this piece is going to get glued down and just popped right in there. It's kind of slid in the back. Sometimes with it being embossed, it's a little harder to make it stick. So I do like to add a little extra glue in there. Okay, now I'm going to put that on, and you'll see how nicely it just sits right inside. Get all my little paper pieces off of there. All right, so next we're going to take the little red banner and the dies that I used here, the gear dies. I did use our silver paper. I know sometimes the sheen from the light is a little much, but this is our silver foil paper and or cardstock, and that's what I used to die cut out the gears with. So I'll set those aside. But I want to go ahead and finish my banner here, cut my banner. So on this, a little tip, and I know I've shown this before, but if you take your scissors and just go up the side, up the middle, and then come into the sides, you're going to get, oh, that wasn't very straight. Normally you can get a much straighter cut there than I just did, but we'll just pretend like it is. All right, I get another try, because now I'm going to use the other side. So you're going to go ahead and just cut up the center and then to your sides there. So with that being said, this piece is going to then get glued on right about there. So I'm going to just throw in a quick snail and add this. There we go. That looks like it's pretty centered. I did find it easier if I use glue dots to put on the back here. I could use a dimensional and pop it up, but I feel like I already have enough dimension on here, so I'm just going to leave that and give that a little glue dot. And same with this, just enough to hold it down and keep it on there. So I'm going to just add a little bit of sheen to our card. Isn't that awesome? So there, the front of my card is done, except for the heart. I almost forgot the heart. So for my heart on this card, when I made it before, I had used a smaller heart, but we have this cute little doggy punch that has a little heart with it. So I'm going to punch out a heart. And as you see, my heart grew. It grew from a small heart to a bigger heart. And so I just think it was just the perfect size. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that on there. I am using our rhinestones and the Take Your Pick tool. This is like a super great little tool here to pick up the glue underneath your rhinestones or your pearls or any of your little embellishments. It just helps to transfer it over. I'm glad Stampin' Up! Came out with this one because it has just been really, really awesome. All right, so the front of my card is done, very similar to the other one. And now on the inside, I want to stamp You're a Classic. So on here, I've got my piece. Let me move that over here. And with the basic gray ink, this is one of our newer ink pads. With the basic gray ink, I'm going to go ahead and open it. So the way this opens is like this. Some people find if your stamp pads are newer, they're a little bit stiff. So, hi Lori, glad you're watching from Nebraska. And so from here, what you want to do is just press right about there and it pops that up. That was a good tip that I learned not long ago. Okay, so what I want to do is go ahead and put on my words, You're a Classic. Just lightly stamping into my ink pad there. Come across. I always hold on to my stamp. I don't ever let it go because I don't want it to go slide or skip across. Next, I'm going to stamp our little toolbox here. Add a little bit on there. And that is all done. I love it. All right, so let me go ahead and glue that down. Just a little bit of snail. And then put it right into the middle here. It's a great card for any of the guys in your lives too. So there we go. There's my first card that I wanted to share with you. So again, this is called the Geared Up Garage, and the dies are called Garage Gears, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyways, they coordinate really nicely together, and I've seen many wonderful samples online as well. All right. I did make some scrapbook pages. I have some scrapbooking customers, and I've been scrapbooking for a long time. So I wanted to just share them with you because it seems like scrapbooking pages, we don't get to see too many very often. So this is my master mechanic's son, Jonathan, and I just thought this was a nice, simple page that we made this last year when it had come out. And this is my other son, Anthony, who's not a mechanic, but really likes to get greasy. And my husband, when Anthony was in the Army, we were out in Georgia, and he had some car issues. So my husband and my other son were FaceTiming with Jonathan, the master mechanic, and trying to fix the alternator in the car. So it was quite a chuckle and something that I thought definitely needed to be scrapbooked. So now I have a great memory of that trip. Okay, next, I just want to give a plug really quick. Stampin' Up's new catalog is out, and I have boxes of them. So if you need a catalog, please give me a comment and let me know. And you can private message me your address, and I'll be happy to send you one. Or if you're local, you can come pick one up at my studio. So it's awesome. I can't wait to show you guys. That'll start on June the 3rd, and I'm really excited to share with you. All right. My next card, I am going to be using the Clubhouse stamp set and the framelits. So I have some friends that said, well, you know, I could see they might be good guy cards, but my family, we're not golfers. So I'm going to just make a simple card that it really doesn't matter if they're golfers or not, but they can still make some nice simple guy cards. The colors that Stampin' Up! Had used in this whole suite is the Poppy Parade, Crushed Curry, Garden Green, and our Night of Navy. And they are just vibrant colors. I love it. On page 47 of our mini catalog, we have the entire Country Club suite. And so it's $77.75, but it includes everything on this page. So we have the designer series paper, the whole bundle with the stamps and dies, this really awesome argyle embossing folder, the twine, and some wooden elements. So I'm going to show you how I implemented some of that in other cards, not the one I'm going to demo, but I have some other samples for you as well. So I am just going to be sharing today. Here is the argyle folder. Hopefully you can see that without too much of a shine. It is really awesome. And when I use it on this card that you're going to see here in a minute, you could really use either side of that once you run it through. All right. Here is the card. And I did this video yesterday, but my Wi-Fi was so choppy it kept buffering. So that's why I'm redoing the whole thing. And hopefully I don't forget any of the pieces that I gave you yesterday. But anyways, this is the argyle folder that I used. It is really cool. And on both sides, either one can be used. It just depends on your choice. So this card I made was a Happy Father's Day card, but I was really, really needing some more birthday cards. So I thought, well, what a great time to show you guys another idea using this same layout, but making it into a birthday card. So what I did was used a Whisper White base, card base. This one is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches, and then just scored at the 4.25 inch line here. So on this card, it opens to the side. All right. Next, I'm just going to simply take and glue this piece on, which is our next panel, the 4" by 5.25, and put that down. And find the center. Done. I love this card. It's super, super easy. I should say, and fast. So this was one of the argyle designer pieces that we had. All of our papers are double-sided. This one was the golf tees. I don't know if you could see it very well. I'll show it up there. And then I just decided I would change it out to show you something a little bit different. So with this piece, I just simply need to glue that on. I did cut the circle out of our stitched shapes framelits. I love these framelits. I actually use them a lot on my cards. So Stampin' Up! Has 4 ovals, 4 squares, and 4 circles. So on this one, I used the largest of the circles. But I'm telling you, it just adds so much with that little extra stitching on the sides there. Gives it a nice little piece of texture. And then on top of that, I went ahead and punched out with our Starburst Punch. So this Starburst Punch is actually retiring. We have several items that our current catalog will be retiring and several items that will be going away. Some will be carried over into the next catalog, but this one is not. And I'm very sad to see it go because I use this a lot with any of my elements. But this is called the Starburst Punch, and I did use the crushed curry to pop it out. I like it because it'll layer nicely with my 2" circle punch, and that's what we'll be using on the inside part here. So I simply want to just lay that down, and then I'll go ahead and glue this on too while I'm sitting here just chatting with you. It's pretty funny when you're doing Facebook Lives and you really stop and realize that I'm really kind of in a room by myself, talking to myself. So hopefully the people next door don't sit there and go, man, that girl is loony. Okay, but at least I know you guys are out there, right? Yvette, oh my gosh, all the way from California. Hey, girl. All right, next I'm going to use my 2" punch, and I am going to stamp my sentiment on here. So I'm using our Night of Navy ink pad. Excuse me. And again, this is our old ink pad. And so it just flips open. And I have a tip that I wanted to show you because I had noticed that on this ink pad, I had gotten a little speck of like glitter or paper or something on there. But I don't know if you've ever heard this before. If you ever get any glitter or embossing powder or anything, you can use a piece of Scotch tape and just go and pick it up and then throw it away, and it doesn't get all over your fingers And it's just a great easy way and a nice little tip to remove any of those little specks. So thumbs up if you like that tip. All right. Oops, I'm going to use that. Why am I closing it? Okay. So I am going to stamp the stamp that says Happy Father's Day. Stampin' Up! Made it all one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to stamp it so that I leave enough room around for my punch. Again, I'm going to use the 2-inch punch. Let's move this so I don't put my hand in it. But I'm going to go ahead and punch that out. And this will now get glued onto the front right here. I'm not going to pop anything up yet. I'll pop up the element that's going to cover this. So this, this stamp set has a happy birthday and a happy Father's Day and a couple other little fun sayings for the golfers out there. But again, I wanted to turn this one into a birthday card. So I'm going to take my scrap paper and stamp Happy Birthday in the blue ink. So I have my Night of Navy ink again, and I'm just going to stamp my Happy Birthday, holding on to it. And the dies that come with the golfer here has a couple of banner dies, and they fit just perfectly over that. The other thing I wanted to let you know is they also go very nicely on our designer paper. This is one of the sheets that Stampin' Up! Has in that pack of designer paper. On the other side, it's a nice gray argyle. But this same framelit, I love when they do this. They make it match up so that you can cut out some other elements off of your designer paper. So thank you, Stampin' Up! So I'm going to go ahead and use this die, and I'm going to run it through. And by the treasures of Facebook here, I'm going to be able to pop that up. So look at how fast I am when I cut that out. You guys probably blinked and missed it. All right, so here's a scrap of my paper. Another one of the framelit dies that they have will also cut out these elements. So you could get the golfer or the little golf cart. Excuse me. So I used that to cut out the green little golf cart. And now what I want to do is pop up that saying in the middle there, the Happy Father's Day. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop that up using one of our dimensionals. You can use more than one, but you really only need one. So I'm going to pop that up. And then now I already stamped and cut out my Happy Birthday. And I am going to just place my little banner right over the top. Isn't that amazing? A little bit of glue in the middle. And then I am going to use our mini dimensionals instead of the bigger ones. The bigger ones I'd have to cut in half because it would be way too big for this little tiny banner. So I'm using the mini dimensionals, putting it over here, making sure I'm in the middle. Kind of in the middle. That's the hardest thing. There you go. There's your happy birthday card for any guy, and any guy would really enjoy getting that. So I hope you like those two cards. I have other cards that I want to share with you and some other tips while we're all together. So let me show you some more pieces of this golf clubhouse suite here. All right. So I had taken this card and had used it for the first one here. I had used it for a swap, but I wanted to kind of, what do I want to say, like make it into an easel card. I didn't want it to just be a simple card. So this card is the whole front is the same, but I made it into an easel card where it'll pop up and stand by itself. So I thought that was pretty cool. On here, I used the element that I showed you you could cut out of the paper. I just used that, stamped one of the other stamps and cut that out. But I wanted to show you on here the wooden elements that we have We have a golf tee, golf balls, a couple of golf clubs. And I want to show you how you can color the wood elements and bring those in so you can take a look and see what else there is. So the wooden elements are meant for you to stamp on or just to lay out on your card any way you want. But what I wanted again was I wanted to have that die or that tee a different color. So I went ahead and took one of our stamping blends. I used the dark Night of Navy. And you can actually just color right onto the wood. So I suggest you leave it in this little piece before you pop them off. It's just easier to hold on to. And you can literally just use your marker and color. Isn't that beautiful? I'll take it out and show you. But it's really cool. And I did the same with the tees. I just did them all at once because I was making quite a few of those cards. And just super nice little tip there. So now my piece is done. And I can put that on any card. So that's a nice little tip for you. All right. The next thing I did on this card was the ball that is in here was the wooden color, the little golf ball. Thanks, Kelly, for the thumbs up. The little golf ball. So what I did was I dipped it into Versamark, the wooden piece here, and then put some white embossing powder on it and heat set it. And so that made this pop off a little bit more, being more of the white and not being just the darker of the brown wooden color. So I wanted to share that tip with you as well. All right, so the next card, I'm super excited. I had done several cards with this suite. I better close this because I know me. I'll put a card right on top of it. And I don't want to do that. All right, so the next couple of cards I have are from the this bundle that I'm showing you here. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. The Country Club Suite. And so I wanted to share them with you. This one was using some of that same argyle paper, and I just thought this was kind of a fun idea. Most golfers you see out there have fun sweater vests of some sort, and I just thought that was a fun idea. And I did put some little die-cut golf clubs right underneath the saying. So that's one. And here again, I cut that element out of the designer paper and just glued it down. I don't think I put any sayings in there, but anyway, so that's just kind of another fun idea for you. I'll leave the cards out. The next one, oh my gosh, I love this die set with our alphabet. So I used the golf ball as the O, as you see, and it's just really awesome. The letters in there are really awesome. And sad to say, this die set is going away. The whole suite's going away, the whole golfing suite and this alphabet set. And it's called Hand Lettered. And I've used it on many other projects. I'm sorry to see it go. But this was a fun card to make. And I did use a little bit of the argyle embossing folder on here to give it a little texture. So hopefully you guys can still get that. It'll be available till June 2nd or until sold out. Hi, Terry. Here was another card I made. It's a pocket card. And I thought it would be fun to be able to even glue on or pop on a little gift card. So you can give it to somebody, the greatest guy maybe in your life. Again, I just wanted to share some of these fun ideas with you. And in this die set, it just has so many cute little elements to it. All right. Now, remember that happy birthday stamp that I used right here? The stamp actually is a long stamp, just like that. The words are one long stamp. When I was making this card, I wanted a stamp that had the happy and the birthday built on top of each other. And I needed to use everything from this particular stamp set. So what I did, and I'm sure some of you are going to gasp, but let me clean my stamp off. Some of you are going to gasp, but I actually cut my stamp apart. So, and then you can just place it back together on your block. But I cut it apart so that I could create a happy birthday stamp that would go just like that when I needed it on my card. So that is another tip. If you are going to cut your stamp, you need to be very careful. I do put the labels on the back of my stamp first, and then I cut it because it's really hard to put it on there afterwards. But I am very careful because you do not want to cut any of your stamp itself. The back, it won't matter as much, but you want to be really careful. So I highly suggest if you do it with caution. But it is a cool way to make other uses from your stamps. This was just a simple fold. I mean, a fun fold, but a simple little card to put together. That one I really liked. This one was done, I was in a card swap, and the last two cards that I was going to show you was one of the cards. I did not keep her name on the back, so I don't know who made it. But I just thought that was fun. And here she used the wooden element, the little golf club, and tied it underneath. I just thought it was really cool the way she did that. When you are using our wooden elements, I highly recommend that you use the mono liquid glue because you want it to be super strong to hold on to that wood, and it will hold it right on there. This was another one, very nicely, simply done. And again, I'm sure she used this glue behind there and the Argyle embossing folder. So I thought that was very cool. All right, I have a couple more things to share with you. And this was one of the cards I made, again, for this big group swap that I was in. I think it is hilarious, his little pants. I know sometimes golfers wear some really fun-looking pants. I shouldn't say they're funny, but they're fun-looking, just very colorful pants. So what I did was I stamped and die cut out the golfer on a white piece of cardstock, and then I stamped and cut him. I stamped him onto the designer paper itself, and then die cut him out also. When I wanted to put it together, I needed to leave a little larger space so that I had an area to glue the pants on. So if you're going to do that, just make sure that you leave a little extra space so that when you're assembling him, that you can have an area to glue onto. So that's how I got my little fun pair of pants here. And then I stamped this onto another piece and just popped it up right on the top. So I thought that was kind of cool. A little bit of the yarn that we have, or not yarn, the twine that we have, I was able to use on a couple of those cards. Lastly, last week I showed you and talked a little bit about the Stampin' Up! Share Sunshine PDF that we have right now for sale. It's going to be for sale through June 2nd. And if you purchase this PDF, it has all sorts of little sayings and different images for the COVID-19. When you purchase this, there is no commissions for demonstrators, so you can go right to any website, the Stampin' Up! Website, and order it. And it's only $12. And again, it has some really cute little sayings. This one says, I changed out of my night pajamas into my day pajamas to send you this card. And so these are the pajamas that we used on this card. And again, it was the same that we did for our little golfer, but you can only see the jammies. So I thought that was cute, and I wanted to just share that one more time with you. Oh, I feel like I'm talking so fast. I'll take a quick sip. All right, well, I'm so excited you're here. Make sure you tag your friends and share this with them. And don't forget to like, comment, and share with me. Next week, I will be doing another Facebook Live on May 20th at 4:11, so you can get the 411 with candystampers.com. But lastly, before I go, I love sharing something about candy. And because my name is Candy, I picked this week the Hershey Kisses. And I have just a couple cute little fun facts about Hershey Kisses. First off, they were made way back in 1907, and for the first 14 years, they actually hand wrapped each one of these individually, which I just find totally amazing. Then finally in 1921, somebody invented a machine to have that done, which thank God, I'm sure those poor people that were figuring all that out, that was a lot of hard labor. The name, the kiss, came from them putting the chocolate onto the conveyor belt, and it would make a kissing noise. And so that's how it came up with the kiss. Anyway, I just thought that was so fun. And if you leave comments for me, I will go ahead and pick a name and share my chocolate candy with you. I'll send you a bag of Hershey Kisses. So thanks for stopping in today. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is they make 60 million of these a day out of 2 of their different factories. So there are a lot of Hershey Kisses to go around for everybody. But again, thanks for stopping in and joining me today. I really appreciate it. And come back next week to get the 411 Stamping with CandyStampers.com. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye-bye.